The sun was barely rising on the sprawling plains as the blood-bay thoroughbred horse rode down the dusty trail towards Lightning Ridge Ranch. The early morning light painted the landscape in golden hues, casting long shadows that stretched across the valley. Elizabeth Pike, or Beth as she preferred, sat on the horse behind her boyfriend, Andy, feeling a mix of excitement and nerves. This was her first day at the ranch, and she couldn't help but wonder what the future held. "Don't worry, Beth," Andy said, his hand gently squeezing hers. "You've got this. It's just a ranch. You're good with horses." Beth smiled up at him, her blonde hair tied in a neat side braid, her eyes reflecting a mixture of hope and determination. "I know, but it's different, Andy. This is a whole new world for me." Andy gave her a reassuring look as they approached the entrance to the ranch, a large wooden sign swaying in the breeze with the name Lightning Ridge Ranch carved into it. As they pulled up, Andy stopped the horse, and Beth turned to face him. She could see the way the ranch had become a part of her thoughts already. The open skies, the sense of freedom in the air, and the promise of a life built on hard work and horses. "You're gonna be fine, Beth," Andy said softly, brushing a stray lock of hair from in front of her face. "I'll come by later, and we'll ride back to Armadillo in a day. Just take care of yourself." Beth leaned over and gave him a long, tight hug, feeling the warmth of his arms around her, but also feeling a deep pang of separation. He kissed her forehead before riding off. "I'll see you soon," Andy said, his voice quite full of confidence. With a final wave, Beth watched as Andy rode off, the sound of hooves gradually fading as he disappeared into the distance. She took a deep breath, stood tall, and made her way towards the main ranch house. She knew that he could not stay with her all the time and had to get back to the gunsmith he worked at. The front door swung open before she even reached the porch, and out stepped a tall, confident woman with gray hair and a steady gaze. This must be Anna, the vet at the ranch. "You must be Beth," Anna said warmly, offering her hand. "I'm Anna, the vet here. Welcome to Lightning Ridge." Beth smiled, shaking Anna's hand firmly. "It's nice to meet you, Anna. I'm really looking forward to working here." "Good to hear," Anna replied. "I'm sure you'll do just fine. Let's go meet the other girls. We'll get you started soon enough." Beth followed Anna to the back of the property where the stables were located. There, she met a few of the ranch hands and some trainers, including a very skilled pair of female trainers who immediately made her feel at home. After a quick introduction, Beth decided to get her own horse out from the stables she had been keeping her in on the property. With the other trainers looking on, Beth led her horse Knifefish out into the open fields just to begin some bonding exercises. It was simple at first, just walking with the horse, letting her feel comfortable with Beth's presence. After a while, Knifefish lay down in some soft grass, Beth feeding her an apple. Eventually, she made her way over to the group. Anna and the other trainers watched from a distance, offering Beth nods of approval. Beth didn't say anything, but a small, satisfied smile tugged at her lip. This is what she had dreamed of, working with horses, feeling their trust, and building something real. As the morning sun climbed higher, the ranch boss, Nash, arrived on horseback, accompanied by his wife, June. The couple rode towards the group, and Nash gave a friendly wave. "All right, everybody," Nash called out as he dismounted and helped his wife. "Let's gather around for a meeting. Got something important to discuss." Beth quickly put her horse back into the safety of the stables before following the group up to the main house. Feeling a surge of anticipation, she hadn't expected a meeting so soon into her first day. Inside the house, everyone gathered around a long wooden table. Nash sat at the head, his hands resting on the edge, his brow furrowed in thought. "All right," Nash began. "I've been talking to a horse breeder outside of Armadillo. He's got a pair of Mustangs I've never seen before, exotic coats, wild and unique. The kind of horses you only hear about in stories. He's not exactly willing to sell them to me, but I made a deal with him. We'll hold an auction right here on the property and get a cut of the sales." There was a buzz of excitement around the table. The ranch had always been known for its fine Mustangs, but this was something special, something that could draw the attention from all over. Beth's heart raced with excitement. An auction. The idea of rare, exotic horses, showcasing them, and watching people bid just filled her with hope for what the future could hold. "All right," Nash continued. "I want all of you to be ready. We need to get everything in order for the auction. It'll be a big deal. We'll give out tickets to people. Let's get to work." The meeting wrapped up, and Beth found herself feeling more energized than ever. Afterwards, she spent the rest of the evening tending to her horse, brushing her coat, leading her around the stables, before returning her to her stall for the night. She was shown to a guest bedroom, a quiet place. There was a soft blanket. As she closed her eyes and drifted into sleep, she dreamed of the Mustangs running wild. She was very excited for what the future held. The next morning, Beth woke up very early. The scent of hay and fresh morning air filled her senses. The ranch was already alive with activity as the other hands and trainers started their day. She quickly changed into her work clothes, a sturdy pair of boots, and worn pants, and set out on her morning chores. First, she filled the water troughs near the stables, watching the horses drink deeply from the fresh water. Then, she spread the hay across the stalls, making sure that the horses had everything they needed for their day. Next were the chickens, their clucks and squawks filling the air as she tossed the feed into the coops. While working, Beth's thoughts drifted back to Andy. She missed him terribly. Life at the ranch was exciting, of course, but it was hard to imagine being here without him by her side. Taking a moment to herself, she pulled out a small notebook and wrote him a quick telegram. "I miss you, Andy. Wish you were here. If you can make it, come on down to the ranch. We can ride to Armadillo together. It's a dangerous road, and I'd feel safer with you here." She folded the note, sealing it with a piece of twine, and sent it off with one of the ranch hands to be delivered to the telegram office. With the chores finished, Beth led Knifeitch out into an open field again. It was time for her morning ride. The horse was eager to go, her hooves pounding the earth as they galloped across the pasture. Beth felt the wind in her hair and the rhymes of Knifeitch's stride. As she rode, Beth couldn't help but smile. She'd only been there for a day, but already felt like part of the family at Lightning Ridge. And with the auction coming up, there was so much more excitement ahead. By midday, she received word that Andy would be coming the next day. Her excitement in her heart soared as she prepared for their reunion, knowing that the best was yet to come. The following day, Andy arrived as promised, riding into the ranch. Her heart almost leapt out of her chest when she saw him and rushed to greet him. "Andy!" she called out, her face lighting up. "Beth," he grinned, dismounting. "It's good to see you. I've missed you." They embraced warmly, and after a brief conversation, Beth took Andy to the stables where Nightfish stood waiting. "Check this out," Beth said, smiling, her hands resting on the reins. "I've been working on some jumps with her." With Andy's encouragement, Beth guided Nightfish through a series of jumps, her movements confident and fluid. Andy watched, not too far, just on the other side of the fence, impressed by her skill. "Okay," she said out of breath. "Now it's your turn," Beth said playfully. Andy hesitated, but then mounted his own horse, giving it a quick few circles around the barrels. His ride was pretty clumsy, but it made Beth laugh as he tried to navigate the obstacles. "It's harder than it looks," Andy exclaimed, grinning sheepishly. Beth couldn't help but laugh too, watching him struggle to ride around the obstacles, but the joy between them was undeniable. They spent the rest of the day riding and laughing, sharing stories of the past few days. But before it got too late, Beth led Nightfish back into the stables, cleaning her up, making sure she had fresh water and hay. She couldn't stop smiling, even while she was working. As she headed back, Andy hopped up on the back of his horse and held his hand out for her. Soon they would head off to Armadillo. But she couldn't help thinking about the ranch. What a place of possibilities. Excited for what's yet to come.